everybody, this is Pablo, and I'm here with my good friend Omero, and we want to welcome you to the Ganas Network. Believe it or not, we're pretty stoked about this. Now couldn't be a better time. We're actually going to be talking about a lot of issues, a lot of fun things, entrepreneurship, motivational stuff, but more importantly, just to prove to the world that the Hispanic community is not a bunch of rapists, murderers, or killers. So we're just going to talk about some things here and introduce you guys to who we are, what we're about, and where we're going. So, Meryl, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and let the whole world what you're all about.
All right, what's up? Well, thanks for that, Pablo. My name's Omero, out of Southern California, born and raised here, but my family from Mexico, and very very proud to have my Mexican roots. And it's crazy, being born here in the U.S. You don't really realize how great it is here. And luckily, my dad sent me to Mexico almost every summer since I was like 5 years old, and to see the life and to see what they do on a daily basis just to put some food on the table. It's such a humbling experience because you come back to America and you realize, man, we really do have many opportunities here, and it's really just about going out there every single day, believing that you can do it, but most importantly, finding mentors, finding people that you can kind of look at and see, wow, and this guy's having success, and maybe he's the same color as me, maybe he's a different color than me, but his family is Spanish, his family's from Ecuador, Brazil, Guatemala, Mexico. It doesn't matter. And to see people have massive success, I think it's incredible, and that's why we're here to share this story with you. And I've known you, Pablo, for almost, it seems like 8 to 10 years now.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. I couldn't think of another person to do something like this with. You have a lot of experience. You're helping out a lot of people, especially a lot of people in the Latin community. And I really would love for you to kind of share your story, your background a little bit, maybe how you started, and how and why you wake up every day to do what you do.
Well, my dad, believe it or not, came into this country as an immigrant, and he actually was a field worker, and he worked there for 25 years. My mom was also working in the fields. And, I got to grow up watching them really work hard to give us and provide for us, me and my 4 brothers. At the end of the day, you appreciate, you don't appreciate it at the time, but as you grow older and you get the opportunities to better yourself, you look back and you say, wow, they actually busted their butts to give me a better life. And then you learn to appreciate. And then what you do is you want to pay it forward. At the same time, you want to be able to give back to your family. And, because of what my mom and my dad were able to do, I am here now running a business. I guess I would consider myself a serial entrepreneur, always looking for ways to generate extra income, just always wanting to help people out. I really love helping people. Doesn't matter what color you are, what background you come from. If you want to better yourself, and if there's a way that I can help you, that's what I want to do. I went to college. I fell for the whole 40-40-40 plan, which is go to school, get good grades, get a degree, and go and work for somebody else. But I realized very quickly that was not the path that I wanted to take. The one thing I don't like is people telling me what I can and cannot do. And that's the reason why eventually I decided that I wanted to take the entrepreneurial path. And, I was introduced to a world of network marketing, MLM, believe it or not. And that's where I actually met Omero. And honestly, from day one, I always thought Omero was a very passionate person, who at the end of the day was all about helping people. And great conversationalist, and definitely knows how to bring up good points. And now here we are, believe it or not. We kind of separated our paths a little. He went one way, I went a different direction. But somehow, for whatever reason, we ended up crossing paths again. And here we are, bringing Ganas Network to life. And we're really stoked. Ganas Network is definitely going to be something that's very exciting. Why? Because I believe that it's time for the Latino community to have a voice, to be able to share, their thoughts without, any filter like you would have on the radio station. Be able to share what we really feel. And Omero, You're definitely the guy to lead the charge.
Oh, thanks, brother. Thanks for that. I appreciate that, and I want to actually dig a little deeper because my grandfather also worked in the fields back in like the '60s. My grandpa was in like Bakersfield and Fresno doing. I don't know what. That's how I got their visa back in the day. What areas did you grow up in, or what areas did your parents work in? What region? Where are you guys from? What's your family? What's the history?
Salinas. We're from Salinas, California, and my mom and dad got their start with Bud of California. Believe it or not, it was Bud of California. They worked in the lettuce fields. They also traveled. So they were what we were called migrant field workers. They would go to Huron, California. That's actually in the Central Valley, and sometimes they would go down to Yuma and work out there. And Bud of California eventually got bought out by Dole. So most people know who Dole is. Yeah, that's kind of where we were at. Small community, small farm town community. Very, you can get around, your entire life there just speaking Spanish, believe it or not. You don't really have to learn the language of English to live in that town and actually live a fulfilling life. You can actually just get through by just speaking Spanish your entire life. But, to be honest, it was the traveling that allowed me to really see, what they had to go through in order for us to try to have a better life. So yes, California is where we're from originally. We got to see Huron, we got to see Yuma, and now I don't know how. To be honest, I ended up here in Southern California, but here I am, and I love it. I consider myself a native. I love Southern California, and yeah.
Cool. It's hard to argue with the beaches and the beautiful neighborhoods and the safe communities, right?
Yeah,
but
man.
we sure do pay for it.
Oh man, we do.
That's cool, man. Well, I mean, one of the greatest things now is I see you started your own business here in Southern California, helping people with their credit, and it's crazy, man, to see. I remember on Facebook when you were first posting stuff a while back, and I was always like, oh, cool. Paulo's a very smart guy. He's very creative and always has, good ideas. I can't wait to see what happens, because you and your brother always worked hard doing a ton of different other things, but to now see you guys working on this project together and seeing your company grow. I'm here, we're at your office in beautiful Santa Ana, California, and it's exciting, man, to take something from an idea in your head, a concept. Maybe you and your friends or your brother were brainstorming to take something from an idea, write down a game plan and to take action into now, having success. How did you find that motivation and what made you kind of get into this field?
Well, to be honest, when I was going to college, I got my start being a collection manager. So I used to be a bill collector. And while I was going to school, I became very passionate about, collecting, believe it or not. I was the bad guy for all, probably 15 years of my life. But in that world, I was able to really understand how credit worked, the benefits of having good credit, and the pros, and then obviously the cons of not having good credit. And it's funny because I was actually backed up into a corner where I had made an investment in a steel company. Company went actually under, and I had just gotten married to my beautiful wife, and I had lost my job. I lost a lot of cash in this company, and I didn't know what I was going to do. Believe it or not, I almost went back into corporate America. I was, filing resumes online and trying to get interviews. And while I was working at this job, I met a gentleman who had his own credit repair company, and I told him, I said, "What are you doing here? Working with us at this steel company, you should be balling out of control, man. I mean, everybody needs credit repair." And at the time, he was going through a transition. His name's Jose. He's actually my current partner right now. And he, me and him finally decided to talk, chop it up for a little bit, came up with some ideas. And, when you have no income and you're newly married and you don't know what to do, you're kind of forced into a corner. You just decide, hey, you know what? I'm just going to create my own path and my own way to have success and generate some type of income. And It started from there. To be honest, it was just I was backed up into a corner. But that's most entrepreneurs. Remember, I mean, you should know that when you're put in a position where there's no income coming in, you got to do something, right?
Right, right.
So that's basically how it came about. The company in September will officially be 2 years old, and we're thriving, we're growing, and that's basically it.
Very cool. What's the name of your company, just in case people want to look it up and get more information about what you guys are doing?
Metro Fund Financial is the name of the company. We specialize in credit restoration, and we also specialize in helping people go from not being able to buy a home to being able to buy a home. Credit is everything in this country. We've learned that the hard way.
Right.
But yeah, that's what we do. MetroFundFinancial.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. We're very hip to the whole social media scene. As a matter of fact, 70% of our business is generated through social media, believe it or not. So,
Wow.
and now, through Ganas Network, we want to bring a lot of that educational, financial education to the community. Ganas Network is more than just, this was not an idea that was born just because. It was actually born with a purpose to actually serve the community, So Metro Fund Financial is also now sponsoring Ganas Network, which is really cool. So I'm very excited to see where this heads. And Omero, this would be a pretty interesting trip.
Yeah, man. No doubt. And once again, man, I think it's very great what you're doing, and that's the purpose really behind Ganas Network is we want to share stories and examples just like Pablo's, because in reality there's hundreds of people, thousands of people actually, even just our own region here who are having a lot of success like Pablo that come from Latin backgrounds, and maybe their parents were immigrants, maybe they are immigrants. And when there's a will, there's a way, So tienes que echarle ganas, and you got to find it. But we want to share the stories behind that. We definitely want to let people know that it is possible. And in the future, within the next few weeks, we're going to be interviewing all different types of people, entrepreneurs, just like Pablo here. We're going to be talking to musicians, educators, artists, firefighters, law enforcement, people from all different walks and backgrounds. So they can share their story. You guys can listen to it and see if you guys can relate. There's no doubt in my mind that you'll be able to relate to a lot of these individuals. And one part of it, I think, is hearing the stories, and then the second part is getting inspired to take action. That's really what this is all about. And I'm excited to be launching this with Pablo. It's pretty exciting, man. It's something that I think it's the perfect time. When you hear all this crazy coverage from Donald Trump, dissing Latinos, dissing Mexicans. There's a thing that we must realize as young Latinos, as old Latinos. Together we can accomplish so much. We have so much power in numbers, and it's not about competing against one another. It's just about us uniting and making our voices count. And we're not going to be a political group that says, "Oh, vote for this group or vote for that." It's not even about that. It's just about getting educated and following your dreams, but also making sure your voice is heard and make sure that you guys do something.
I want to just kind of just say something that I think we should all remember. This is a podcast and this is being recorded, and words last forever. And unfortunately, Donald Trump has said some pretty mean words. I don't, I'm not a hater on Donald Trump. I mean, that's just what he said. Unfortunately, what he said is leaving a lasting impression on people to think that it's okay to speak like that. And the reality is that nobody should be speaking those kind of hurtful words, because it does scar people. It does scar people's image, or people think that all Hispanics are now murderers and rapists, and now you want to highlight those things. And the reality is, terrorism unfortunately happens in our own land, and we're busy pointing out the people that are coming into this country hurting us, when there's a lot of people within this country that are hurting each other. So it's not just people who come into this country that are doing those things. It happens within our own borders, but we want to sit there and point the finger at the people who are coming in. And believe it or not, if that was the case, my dad would probably be in jail right now if he was a rapist or a murderer. He came into this country eventually trying to find a better life because, that's what he wanted. It wasn't to bring me into this world because I wasn't even in the equation yet. Eventually he met my mom here, and then that's when I was created. So, my dad came here because he wanted to work, and to create something for himself, not because he wanted to come and hurt anybody. And I just have a message for everybody out there that, I don't hate Donald Trump. I really don't care for him. He never paid my bills, so he's not somebody that is on my radar or anything like that. I just don't appreciate the fact that he's using these words that can be played over and over and over. And the thing is, when you say something as hateful as he did, some people will be very passionate about what he said, and then they'll take action on that. And then they may hurt some people, some innocent people, all because he said that they're all Hispanics that come into this country illegally are going to hurt somebody. These people are going to take action, and they're going to go then and hurt somebody because of what Donald Trump said. So he's just planting a bad seed, and he's making it okay for people to think that way, and that's not the way it's supposed to be, So I just want to make sure I get that off my chest, because this is our first podcast, and Donald Trump, you shouldn't be saying those things, man, because they're going to be played over and over and over. And if people go out and commit crimes because of what you're saying, what repercussions are you going to have for that? Or what, who's going to hold you responsible for those actions, or for saying those words, causing these people to take these types of actions? So anyways, I just want to get that off my chest.
No, definitely, man. And I understand, dude. It's crazy. I remember when I was first watching those clips on Facebook of Trump saying these things during his presidential talks. It just blows my mind. I mean, Donald Trump has hotels in Mexico and other countries, but even here in the U.S., who do you think is running your business? Who do you think is servicing your hotels and all of the different companies that you have here? I'll tell you, it's not just a bunch of gringos and African Americans or Asians. I would bet to say that a big portion of your entire staff overall are Latinos. And how dare you, man? Shame on you, And it's crazy. Just I know my dad came to this country when he was about 12 years old, and he originally just came, to kind of find more opportunity. He worked. My grandma in Mexico has a dairy farm of now maybe 300 cows, but back in the day, it was a very small dairy farm. And my dad wanted to get away from that farm life and come to the city and see what the U.S. had to offer. I know he had other uncles and cousins that were already here working, so he came, and honestly, with nothing. I think my grandma just gave him a little bit of money and said good luck, enough to get his bus to Texas. And my dad went from Chicago to Texas to California, and working in construction for almost 40 years. And I remember seeing him getting up not all the time, but his schedule was 5 a.m. and he would sometimes get home at 7 or 8 p.m. 6 days a week, and it's not hard work. But to see him coming home, tired, hungry, full of dirt because he works in construction, it's hard work. And I have friends that work in cubicles and with their Starbucks and their AC full blast, and they say, "Oh man, my job is so hard," and I'm like, no, that's not hard work. Hard work is being out in the sun, digging holes, planting trees, mowing lawns. That is hard work.
And 100-degree weather.
100-degree plus weather. Imagine the people out in Palm Springs or in Vegas, no excuses. They get up every morning. They put on their shoes just like you and I, but guess what? Instead of them complaining and bitching, they're doing it. They're working.
Echándole ganas.
Echándole ganas. And that's why, I'm very passionate about this program. And I think our parents, and maybe you guys can relate, but our parents sacrificed a lot for us to have what we have and for us to be who we are. They were just great examples, right? And we're just here to pay it forward, to enlighten and inspire many, many people. So I encourage you guys, please make sure that you guys follow the social platforms that we have. You can go to Facebook and look for the page Ganas Network. Just hit that like button. And also, if you can, please share it. If you know other Latinos that would, like to learn from different business people, make sure that you guys hit that share button. Also on Instagram, Ganas Network. Um, we're currently working on our website. It's ganasnetwork.com. It's not up yet, but the website is in process. So just make sure you guys stay informed, stay tuned. We have many more episodes on the way. We're going to be launching these on YouTube, on the podcast network through iTunes, and also on SoundCloud. This information's all going to be free. We're not going to ever charge a penny for these audios. We believe in just getting this information out there to everybody, sharing these stories, and just to give you guys some insight. Some of the people that we're going to be interviewing soon are some pretty well-known and famous musicians, business people, law enforcement, educators, people that work in all different fields. But the whole point is that they're Latinos from all different backgrounds. We have Mexicanos, Brazilians, Colombians, Guatemaltecos, people from El Salvador. So it's going to be exciting, and it's going to be cool, I think, as we kind of evolve and show more episodes. You guys are going to hear so many similarities.
Yeah, man, and that's the whole purpose behind the Ganas Network is to show that we come here and we want to make something better of ourselves. Le queremos echar ganas. That's why we named it Ganas Network, because what we want to do is create a platform where you can not only hear stories and learn and be inspired and motivated, but even to connect you to other people who have similar backgrounds and we're able to have success here in this country and are Latinos. It doesn't matter if you're Puerto Rican, Cuban, Mexican, Salvadoreño, Guatemalan, de Brazil, de Peru. I mean, we all in some way, shape, or form have a lot of similarities. And we strive to be better. We strive to echarle ganas, and that's why we're bringing this to you guys. And we're very excited to create a movement of positivity to show the people that not every single one of us here again are rapists, murderers, or killers. We really are just people here who want to make it better. We want to contribute to this country, and we want this country also to thrive. But we want them to embrace us. Just like we embrace, we're very grateful for the things that we have here. We probably wouldn't have in our own country, but the reality is that, we do embrace the country here, and we'd like for the country to also embrace us. So hay que echarle ganas, gente. Omero, what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, if anything, as you guys are listening to the podcast, it's very important that you guys communicate with us. Let us know what you would like to hear. Let us know what type of individuals you would like for us to interview. If you have somebody in mind that you think has an amazing story that should be heard, let us know. Reach out to us. We want to really engage with the community. It's not just about us kind of sharing with you who we know, but we would love to hear your story. And also, along the lines as well, we're going to be doing a scholarship foundation with Ganas Network. We want to be giving away some scholarships within a few months. If maybe not at the end of this year, maybe next year early, but
Yeah,
we want to help support the community, and that's what this is all about. It's sharing stories, inspiring, motivating, and really making a difference. And make sure that you guys stay tuned, continue to support, follow us on social media. We're going to try to upload as much content as we can on a consistent basis. I think we're going to do at least one podcast a week. That's for now. Yeah, for now, exactly. And so stay tuned. We'll see how long these episodes start. I believe right now we're going to do a 30-minute podcast, but who knows? Sometimes we're going to talk to people and we might want to hear their whole story and talk to them for an hour or two.
Yeah, definitely.
But, the good news is that now you have something positive to listen to. There's a lot of fun music. I'm a music guy. I love music, but I'm just like heartbroken over the garbage that's on like the radio right now.
Seriously.
So, I remember back in the day, Pablo, they used to teach us about Drive Time University, right?
Yeah, right.
So, this podcast could serve as, maybe that 30-minute inspiration that you can have, once on your Monday or your Tuesday before you start school or work. Turn down some Nicki Minaj and turn on, Ganas. And just get inspired and know that anything is possible. You just have to strap on those work boots, make a plan, and just take action.
So with that, guys, we appreciate you guys listening in. And look forward to the next broadcast. And stay in touch with us. Like Omero said, we have all the social media platforms, and we're looking forward to hearing your guys' story. And if you know of anybody that who's got an amazing story that you'd like for us to possibly sit down with and interview, let us know, man. Give us a shout out, and make it a great one, guys. Hay que echarle ganas.
All right, guys. Peace out. Have a good one. Enjoy your day. Talk to you guys soon.
So where are you?